Hello, you're watching News Today live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Welcome. I am Emefa Akosia Adetina. This afternoon, Amansie Central District Assembly denies created Galamsey tax, insisting the practice dates back to 2008. Also this afternoon, Ghana moves up one place in the 2025 Corruption Perception Index, ranking 76th among 182 countries with a score of 43 out of 100. We have details as concerns remain over stalled progress in Ghana's anti-corruption efforts. Ayawasu East NDC Primary now to annul or not to annul. Heightened anticipation as a three-member committee prepares to submit its verified report to the NDC's Functional Executive Committee later this afternoon, following allegations of vote buying in the just-ended Ayawasu East Parliamentary Primary, with Baba Jamal at the center of the controversy. Central NDC executives lock up the National Health Insurance Scheme office in protest against what they describe as unfair and exclusionary appointment process. They accuse authorities of sidelining grassroots members who worked for the party's success.
Work, and we have people who deserve appointment, right? We've heard them.
JoyNews, independent, fearless, credible. Please stay for details. I appreciate your company. Now to the details on our first story. The Amansie Central District Assembly has denied allegations that it created a system to benefit from illegal mining activities, insisting that revenue collection from operators of earth-moving equipment has been a long-standing practice spanning multiple administrations. The response comes on the heels of a JoyNews hotline documentary expose that uncovered what it described as a pay-to-destroy syndicate operating in the district, where miners reportedly pay 6,000 Ghana cedis annually to operate banned and fine machines with the tax's approval, local authorities. The assembly maintained that the collection of revenue from operators using earth-moving equipment did not originate under the current administration and has existed for many years across several political administrations. We'll bring you highlights of the statement shortly, but first, here are excerpts of the documentary, A Tax for Galamsey.
According to the Forestry Commission, 44 out of 288 forest reserves have been invaded and harmed. Beneath the crisis are acts of bribery and corruption, illegal payments, extortion, sanctioned by those elected and appointed to protect our resources. Our investigation began as whispers of an organized extortion scheme kept resurfacing, with stories shared quietly among miners who speak only in cautious tones. The fragmented accounts pointed towards a task force allegedly operating under the authority of the District Chief Executive of Amansie Central, Emmanuel Obeng Ajeman. According to the patterns we observed, miners were said to be paying 3,000 Ghana cedis for every chanfan machine, one leg as it is termed, while others pay 30,000 Ghana cedis and more for every excavator in usage. Our investigation also uncovered receipts and warrant stickers being issued to guarantee uninterrupted illegal operations when payments were made.
The whole issue, no more police Even though some more years more for less in the mind, and the woman that will miss it, says Stavita 700. 700 million. So if I lawyer the money, and no idea, I'm not attacking into our body, come of us with
These allegations demanded the deeper inquiry, but our strongest evidence came from a recorded phone call with the district chief executive. In the tape, he confirms that the task force collects monies and that it operates under his instructions.
Assembly may as DCE, Mama na Afenyo na so onkonkoye. Ona we mining desk officer. It is a Afenyo tin o si yan na enye dia fine ye ka ho asem. E na meka jo say the benya o raise complaints here. O start ejuma we almost 1 month ni on one leg ni. Miners are on your encounter. Ah, my friend, no, I'm bro 20. I'm friend encounter. Obi a wa friend bi enu ha me ma people on their friend malam. Me ka chere say, ene ne nko kasa. Na ya ma ne 2 minutes on.
It is at this point that we confirm the cash payment in exchange for Galamsey. Undercover, we infiltrated the Jakobu Township, the seat of the district assembly, posing as illegal miners operating at Eskesu, one of the mining communities. It is time for us to uncover the loot. We secretly filmed every process and navigated the community on motorbikes. The assembly is where we intend to make payments and confirm every illegal mining scandal. Our undercover operation led us to Philemon, a receptionist at the district assembly. He greeted us and with apparent willingness agreed to help us procure a warrant sticker for our Galamsey operation. He called one district engineer who would later send us contact to the mining desk officer himself.
Bajo, I am Kophobia Bason come with just take out. I am more receptionist.
Afternoon. Good afternoon.
Boss Bajo, okay, your baby to stick out.
Okay, to stick out. And Onim, Mame, Odemodion, Mamene, Miss Officer in Kasawai. It is no other man and I'm more in the Panakasawai.
All right.
Yeah, trust sticker.
Hours passed as we waited for the mining desk officer and leader of the task force, a man known interchangeably as Red, Malam or Nana, who also served as the community's chief imam. Our wait was prolonged because he was reportedly out on an operation collecting the tax from illegal miners. Payments were allegedly collected on Mondays and Wednesdays alone. Later, we managed to speak with the head of the mining desk on phone. He confirmed the 3,000 Ghana cedi payments for Chamfan machines and instructed us to wait for his arrival, which was very uncertain.
Chamfan okay.
Pachani.
One leg, you know.
Pachani.
Would you have a man from why? But the fire guy,
The fight.
on the fire guy.
A better na ke pesi e kobe pikakra.
45 minutes.
Wow. Okay, na kabekwa ni ntumi nhia wo. Because you be say ke kokuma ase.
Now, the minority on Parliament's local government committee says the district chief executive must not be singled out, insisting that the coordinating director, finance officer and other key officials of the assembly must also be held accountable as public pressure intensifies for a full-scale probe into what critics describe as an entrenched Galamsey syndicate operating from within the assembly. John Darko is member of Parliament's local government committee.
I think it's good. It's good that the government has given us assurance that they're going to take this up. But, it's not enough. We need to see action. Why should government wait for Joy FM to bring documentary before they even talk about it? Where is government security? Where is our national security? They say they have 9 months. What have they been up to? They've been paying a lot of millions of our cedis to these people. Why is it that it should take Joy FM to bring this out? Hence the government agencies, the EPA, the Minerals Commission, the 9 months, the military, the police, why are we paying them? Why must it take Joy FM? Joy FM, did anybody give you money to do what you did? You did it because you love Ghana. Nobody is paying Joy FM to do this. But we are using our taxpayers' money to feed government and government officials to be doing this for us. So if Joy FM hadn't come up with this, we wouldn't know. And even apart from that, look at what Selective is saying. My colleague is saying that, well, they haven't seen the documentary and that if they see evidence, they will take action. So it tells you about a government which is sleeping. In fact, in the afternoon, I mentioned about the importation of cyanide into our country. It looks like our government is even aware that illegal mining operators are bringing in cyanide into our country. Our security is in tatters. Why is national security officials being paid? Why are they being paid? And so for me, my worry is that it has to take Joy FM to come up with this for government to react the way it did. That is even worse. One would have expected that even without promptings of anybody, government would have come out to say that the intelligence has discovered ABCD. Why is government intelligence not discovering this? Because this is a dangerous thing. This is going on. Government officials are involved in this Galamsey. In fact, in the afternoon, I told you about a text message I received that right now the party delegates they go out to the mining companies. They collect money to their party chairpersons in their constituency, and the chairperson will sort out the NIMOs. That is what we are hearing. Is the government not aware of this? So for me, I would have been very happy if this whole thing had come out from the government-owned sources. It tells you that the government is sleeping on this job. It tells you that we should probably be paying Joy FM. We should be paying some of our taxes to you because you are the people bringing out the ills of our society whilst our government is sleeping, whilst our security agencies who are being paid are sleeping. Joy FM is the only one doing this job. I am ashamed that I have to pay my tax to this government. But the government is not using our taxes the way it should be.
Well, the District Assembly has since responded. Let's take a look at the statement from the Assembly's Public Relations Officers. I'll put that on your screen shortly. Now, the Assembly has a few arguments. Number one out of that statement is revenue collection from earth-moving equipment did not begin under the current administration. The argument is that it started way before the current administration. Collection recorded in 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2023, and 2024. They've given us the date as to when it started. Now, revenue collection is grounded in Assembly bylaw that was passed in 2008. And so if you're wondering whether they were doing this illegally, they say that they have legal backing. Number four, no individual in the current administration introduced this framework. Also, what's happening is implementation of existing law. Now, what law are they talking about? The one that was enacted in 2008, the bylaw. Now, individual referred to as RED is a recognized Assembly Revenue Officer. He has served under multiple administration, which means that it's not new as well. That's the argument. It continues to say all monies collected are paid into the Assembly's official account at Odotobri Rural Bank, supported by official receipt and deposit slips. Of course, my colleague as well, when they did their payments, do have their receipt or payment slip. Now, claims of diversion or private keeping are false. Revenue used for critical operational needs as well. They've been justifying what they've been using the collection for. Now, Assembly remains firmly opposed to illegal mining, they say. Our fight against Galamsey is unchanged and uncompromising. Revenue Mobilization Authority comes from local governance law. They are telling you where they seek their backing from, even beyond the bylaws. They've been giving you a source. Now, if concerns exist, Power Channel is a formal review of the bylaw, the law that gives them that power to collect the money. Now, this is not a new wrongdoing. That is the crux of the statement that they have been releasing, indicating that if it's wrong today, it's not something that is new. It's existed already. Now, speaking earlier on Newsdesk, Media Relations Officer of the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, Pakwesi Shandov, said the government will commence a probe into the allegations.
Government and the sector minister in particular, Honorable Emmanuel Amakufibua, have all taken note of this development. And as I speak to you, a probe, of course, has been already decided to begin to, as it were, ascertain the facts and then put all the issues into perspective. So basically, government is looking into it, and if there are any appropriate sanctions based on government's investigations, they would be handed over accordingly.
You're watching news today. Now, Ghana has scored 43 out of 100 on the 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index, ranking 76th out of 182 countries assessed globally. The latest score by Transparency International shows that Ghana's anti-corruption drive has largely stalled, with the country recording no meaningful improvement over the past 5 years, despite investigations, prosecutions, and institutional reforms. Perceptions of corruption remain high. We'll put the numbers in context and explain what this trend really means for governance and accountability. And of course, Head of Research here at JoyNews, Isaac Kofi is in studio to break down the numbers. Kofi, let's put some meaning to the figures.
In fact, you would expect that after spending almost over 100 million Ghana cedis on offices like the Office of the Special Prosecutor and other corruption-fighting agencies, we should be improving in terms of our corruption score. But what we are getting today from Transparency International is that we are actually stagnating in terms of our corruption perception index. And if you check the number, we are scoring 43 out of 100. And if this were to be an examination, you know definitely our score. That's an F9 over there. It's a failure. If you are actually, attributing this to an examination grade, 43 out of 100. But we need to check the trend. How has this been so far when we are talking about stagnation? What has been the picture? You can see it from 2018 to 2025. We've seen a stagnation over the period, scoring consistently about 43% over 100. And we had a dip in 2024 when we had the elections. There were so many corruption and corruption-related allegations. That was a dip over there. And currently, we are back to that default setting of 43% over 100. But our best score actually came in the regions of 2014 and 2015. But then we started dipping again also into an election year of 2016 where there was a change in government. So consistently you've seen that when there's a change in government or when there's an election year, that is when we experience the dip, except for 2020 where we saw that marginal increase in that election period. But what we know so far is that nothing has really changed in terms of our fight against corruption. The curve looks stagnated at the moment, although we keep spending over 100 million Ghana cedis on, anti-corruption agencies like the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Well, so, Kofi, in the last nearly 14 years, we haven't scored average.
No.
Not 50.
Not 50.
But in terms of the ranking, have we done any better?
Well, I think we are still stagnated over there.
Even on the ranking as well.
76 out of the number of countries, more than 100 countries that were actually sampled in this whole exercise. To score 76 out of that, or to be positioned 76 out of that, you should tell you that we are still even stagnating when it comes to the ranking. But in terms of scoring even above 50, we've never actually been there. Our highest came in 2014, where we scored 48, 2 percentage points away from scoring 50. So we've never been around 50% before, in fact.
There must be a retake then, Kofi. Thank you so much. Now, the 3-member committee investigating alleged vote buying in the Yawasu Eastern DC parliamentary primary is expected to present its findings to the party's functional executive committee at 2 p.m. today in a report that could determine the political fate of the contest. Now, chaired by former Information Minister Kofi Totobi-Kwache, the committee was constituted on February 7 to probe allegations that some aspirants engaged in inducement and bribery during Saturday's primaries. Now, among the claims under investigation are the allegations that one of the aspirants, Baba Jamal, distributed television sets, cash, and other items to delegates in an attempt to influence their votes. Although Mr. Jamal emerged winner of the contest, the outcome has sparked intense controversy, with the majority caucus in Parliament and some senior members of the NDC calling for the results to be annulled. Now, before we hear reactions from the constituency, take a listen to this report capturing key statements that followed the election.
The allegations of vote buying in the Saturday election have drawn multiple reactions from various levels of the NDC and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. First was a statement signed by General Secretary Fifi Fiafikwete condemning the action, describing it as an affront to the values and principles of the party and the reset agenda championed by President John Mahama. The party subsequently formed a 3-member committee chaired by former Minister for Information Totobi Kwachi. The other 2 members are former Tamale Central MP Inusa Fuseni and lawyer MFA Fuga, who are expected to present the outcome of their investigation by Tuesday, February 10, 2026. The majority caucus in Parliament also followed suit with the party's condemnation, but this time went a notch higher. They are calling for a complete annulment of the election results and for any candidate who is implicated in the vote-buying allegations to be banned from contesting in a rerun of the primaries. Meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has also, acting on the outcome of the election, withdrawn Baba Jamal as Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria, a position he held since 2025 until he took leave to campaign for the elections 2 weeks ago. Aside from the disciplinary actions taken by the NDC, the Office of the Special Prosecutor has also commenced investigations into the vote-buying allegations and to also establish the source of funding for the menace. The OSP in that statement has also revealed that one of its officers was allegedly attacked by thugs aided by Baba Jamal. The case is also investigated as the office abhors corruption in elections, describing it as a serious offense. Baba Jamal has since denied all the allegations and indicated readiness to cooperate with the investigation. Meanwhile, the OSP's investigation into the alleged vote buying is also extended to the NPP presidential primaries of January 31.
Now, Baba Jamal has since denied all allegations of vote buying during his engagement with the committee yesterday. However, listen to him speaking during the election on Saturday.
So if you give television sets to people, what is wrong with it when you gift things to people? Is this the first time I'm gifting things to people? I have been, those of you who know me, know that every Christmas, every occasion, every instant, I have put down 2.5 million to give free loans to people. So if today you are giving, people are coming to vote and you are giving them something, you are not, it's not buying food. I'll speak. If you have listened to me carefully, I say, look, if somebody gives you gift, you can take it. But allowing that gift to influence your vote is what is wrong. It's not a gift. It's allowing that gift to influence your vote. Then it's wrong. By giving gifts, all this week, you think that you can bring people together and you won't give them water. It is not the item. It is the intention. Do you understand? And I don't think that I have gone around, I've spoken to them, I've met people. And that's why I'm still saying that I'm hope and trust that they will see reason with me and come along with me.
Your Excellency, the timing, is it not constant to you? The timing for giving the gift that you just mentioned, if indeed gifts actually happen, is the timing not something that you should worry about?
Timing of what?
The timing at which these gifts were given.
As you are talking now, if I give you a gift, won't you take it?
Your Excellency.
Do we have time that we give gifts?
Despite growing calls for the cancellation of the Ayawasu Eastern DC primary, the Council of Zongo Chiefs in the constituency has strongly opposed such demands, making their position clear at a press briefing.
Action is to plead, as my chairman said, we are living peacefully in this community, and we need to move ahead with the peace. Nima has to be united, and already Nima is united. So if they say they are going to cancel the elections, you don't know what is going to happen. So let us keep the result as it is. There's no election that is, there's no problem in it. It's only God knows who is claiming. So we appeal to them to leave it as it is.
Meanwhile, a member of the investigative committee, Inisa Hussaini, says the panel will recommend appropriate sanctions, if any, strictly based on the evidence before it.
The committee will rely on all evidence available to establish the veracity or otherwise of the claims being made,
and if
including meeting with the candidates, meeting with the constituency executives, meeting with the regional executives, meeting with some of the delegates.
And if vote buying is established, what concrete sanctions will follow?
So the committee is a 3-member committee. They will deliberate on the evidence that has been adduced and then recommend appropriate sanctions.
But the NDC's Functional Executive Committee is expected to take a decision after receiving the report later today. Well, that's an update on the story that we brought to you. But away from that, I'll take you to Tama. Executives of the National Democratic Congress in Tama Central constituency have locked up the offices of the National Health Insurance Scheme, protesting what they describe as unfair and exclusionary appointment processes. The action, led by constituency chairman Benjamin Jakuma, follows growing dissatisfaction over recent appointments to the NHIS and other public positions within the constituency. According to the executives, the appointments were made without consultation and overlooked several qualified party members in the Tema Central. Now, Chairman Jakuma says the leadership is deeply unhappy with what he describes as a pattern of sidelining grassroots executives who worked tirelessly for the party's success.
You have our executive who have the qualification to be there, but always be ignored and only gather people around herself that he give the appointment to without our knowledge. That is not proper. Even within the few minutes we are here, if the right thing is done or promise, this thing will end. A lot of wrong direction have been going on of appointment and consultation. And proper consultation is not being done, especially concerning the metro. And I'll make this known to all the appointees that we cannot work and then they come and sit down and do whatever they want to do to those who was in the trenches to bring the party to the power. It is enough, it's enough. We are not going to tolerate that anymore.
Now, back in the protest, Constituency Secretary Henry Davidson Aye says party executives feel taken for granted despite their commitment and loyalty.
It is becoming too many. One too many, if I should say. So this morning, we decided to lock the place up. Until the proper thing is done, then work can continue. If not, aluta continua. You talk about things, and they tell you it will be done. It will be done. But they still continue in the same fashion, from a particular direction. And it means it's not the best for us as a party and as leadership in the constituency. Constituency executive members are here. There have not been a single meeting that we've been involved in the appointment of anybody to the assembly or any position within the metroship. And that is our problem. Any final message? We want to get it to the appointing authorities that this appointment should be reversed.
Meanwhile, constituency organizer Abdul Razak Mohammed insists the sacrifices made by party faithful in Tema Central must be recognized, warning that years of hard work cannot be allowed to go waste.
Who deserve appointment, right? We've heard them. We don't know who appoint who. We have sent, the party has not been consulted. So that is all that we are asking. We should sit on the round table and make sure proper thing is done. Are you getting me? We will not work for somebody to come and take over. We are not, all of us, we are NDC people. But we have NDC more than NDC, I'll tell you. When you think, come and be executive and you see how you will be having sleepless nights. We, the executive, will be left alone and they will tell us that everybody has work. We are on it. We are solving the issues. So that reason why this is the first one we are giving. This is the first petition and the subsequent ones will continue. Please.
Okay, please, your full name and your position.
My name is Abdul Razak Mohammed Mutawakil, Tama Central Constituency Organizer.
Chairman.
I'll take you to Ashaman, where traders are protesting a proposed redevelopment of the market into a modern 24-hour facility, which they fear could cost them their stalls, their goods, and their only source of income.
The traders say government must provide clarity on the project, warning that the redevelopment could lead to the displacement of their properties and the loss of their livelihoods. They insist that what they need at the moment is the renovation of the existing market and the provision of basic utility services.
With our faith, we have nowhere, so we are only pleading with them. We are pleading with them. We need renovation, utilities in the market. Please. Mandela Market. They have built a lot of stores that are there. Nobody is there selling. We don't have money to purchase stores. And when you go to old Before station, a lot of stores that they sack them and they build stores. And now the stores are there, people are not able to buy the store, to rent it.
So, our president, we beg you. We take God beg you. We beg you. Because if you do this, we don't know what to do. So we are begging you in the name of God. We just need renovation. We need renovation, nothing else.
The Queen Mother of the Ashaman Market, Letitia Ayaba, also spoke to the media.
Joanna, yes, I bet you are my own. This is one young any Johnny in transit. Now I try the mobile yet. Now I see I try the because you have a schedule. Inti ewa na adi na atena wa market no onu akasa de wo ma adwa na obebubu no shares e wo me 1720 ena 750 1750 ena stores no o se obeye no o so obeye stores 90 na wa maye shares no 320 inti uhwe se niama we stores ni shares no Kaboma 460 and for him. Iti 440 nu. Say nipa hin na benya na nipa hin na beko fie.
Across Ghana's historic bread basket, a quiet crisis is taking root as climate change pushes or punishes traditional crops with relentless drought. Farmers are making a desperate and lucrative pivot to a single hardy tree, the cashew. What began as smart adaptation has erupted into an uncontrolled agriculture gold rush, converting vast swathes of fertile land into uniform cashew plantations. Now a stark warning echoes from farmers, filled to the halls of power. In this episode of Climate Evidence, JoyNews' Anas Sabit explores the dilemma grappling with the Bono East region, where the very crop promising survival may be risking the nation's food sovereignty.
Promises a fortune weathering the climate storm. But is it costing us the food on our tables? In the heart of Ghana's bread basket, a golden crop is forcing a painful choice. In this particular piece, we investigate the cashew dilemma. I am Anas Sabit, and the change is driven by a harsh, undeniable reality, punishing droughts and rains that no longer come on time. Faced with failing food crops, farmers are turning to this hardy survivor.
If you have a cashew farm, let's say the cashew season is certain, you become a big man. The cash flow, yes, is the money that gave me motivation to enter into the cashew farming.
The data confirms the crisis. Research here shows over 97% of farmers are aware of climate change, with a majority finding traditional staples like yam and maize increasingly vulnerable. Cashew isn't just a crop for many. It's become the only viable adaptation. I used to have cassava farm. Then later, I blended it with cashew. But today, the cassava is not able to survive due to the state of the cashew. But the cashew has also been helpful.
Where we used to farm, we have used a lot of the land for cashew plantation. So you can't get vast land to farm.
Osman Young, the area officer with the Environmental Protection Agency, says the situation makes the land more vulnerable to climate impacts like pests and erosion.
Once we are destroying our biodiversity,
and converting those lands into cashew plantation, which is just monocrops. What that also means is that the benefits of carbon sequestration that we get from our biodiversity will reduce.
Regional Director of Agriculture, James Edu, has this to say.
If we plant all our lands with 3 crops, what will we eat? Some even give example of what happened in Western region some time ago. All their lands were used for cocoa, and they were coming to Dembro and Afro to buy food to go back.
Bono East Regional Minister Francis Osu-Antwi expressed deep concern with regards to the release of lands by Nananom to people interested in only commercial cash crop farming.
We have realized that Nananom in Bono East, they are my fathers. They issue lands in commercial quantities, of which it has effect on the activities of our farmers. So we have already placed our request to Nananom that they should make sure they reduce the size that they give to people.
Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, John Dumelo, says there is the need to enforce a balanced land use policy.
Well, I think there should be a fine balance between cash crops and then, vegetables as well. And I think over the years, cash crops is trying to overtake it. But all these crops are very important to our economy. And so it's very important to have a fine balance.
Experts call it climate-smart agriculture. It includes techniques like intercropping, using drought-tolerant food crop varieties, and dedicating specific zones for staples.
We can plant cashew and still plant our food crops alongside intercropping with to intercrop. That is why for me I always advocate for agroecology. In agroecology, this system can be achieved. We can still have a land, 10 acres of land with cashew, with our maize, with our cassava, condome, everything on it. So,
Anasabit, JoyNews.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
You're watching News Today. Please stay for some business updates.
Welcome back to Business here on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Taki, and out to our first business story. Food insecurity now poses a direct threat to Ghana's development and productivity. Gabon statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu has warned as fresh figures reveal Ghana's food insecurity rate climbed to 38.1% by the third quarter of 2025 after peaking earlier in the year, highlighting vulnerability nationwide. He made these remarks at a press briefing in Accra.
Prevalence of food insecurity declined from 41.1% in the second quarter of 2025 to 38.1% in the third quarter of 2025. Severe food insecurity incidents declined nationally from 5.1% in the second quarter of 2025 to 4.6% in the third quarter of 2025. But food insecurity is not evenly distributed. Regional differences are persistent, with Upper West recording the highest food insecurity prevalence at 55.9%, and OT recording the lowest food insecurity prevalence at 18.4%, with a gap of 35.7 percentage points between the Upper West region that recorded the highest and the OT region that recorded the lowest. Upper East region recorded the highest food insecurity among households with both elderly and children at 64.6% in 2025 quarter 3 against a national average of 41.8%. Female-headed households and households with dependents face higher risks at 42% prevalence rate. Education reduces vulnerability as households headed by males
Now, away from that, the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Clement Watson, is accusing some traders of deliberately refusing to reduce prices despite a drop in input costs and the recent appreciation of the cedi, a situation he describes as unfortunate. Speaking on PM Express on Monday, Mr. Watson said the strengthening of the cedi has brought some relief to the business community and insists it is only fair that consumers also benefit through lower prices.
And I see that as an attitude of some of we Ghanaians, that irrespective of whatever situation that we find ourselves, we will not let our compatriots also enjoy, the gains that we have made. It is undeniable fact that the cedi, has appreciated for quite, some time, and the business community, has made some gains. So definitely the gains that we have made, we supposed to, also pass it on to the consumer, for the consumer to also have a bit of...
Has that happened in the marketplace?
It has happened. It has happened.
Across board?
Yes, across board. But you see, in our local parlance, we have something which says, not to use your name, but they say Ephebia.
Mensa.
Yes. Mensa. Irrespective of whatever happens.
Guilty as charged.
People have made up their mind that they will not reduce their prices. But, I pity for those people, because the market that we are in is a very, very competitive market. And the business that we do, we use facilities in doing the business. And businesses thrives on turnover. So.
However, the ranking member of Parliament's Economy and Development Committee, Kojo Oponkruma, has pushed back against claims that prices are falling. He argues that it is inaccurate to suggest a general reduction in prices, noting that concerns from consumers persist, even as Ghana's Statistical Service reported a decline in inflation to 3.8%.
Starting off, we should correct some facts. I don't think it's correct to say that price levels have generally gone down. That's not what the Ghana Statistical Service is saying. The Ghana Statistical Service is reporting that the rate at which prices are increasing last year as compared to this year is just a 3.8% jump. So year-on-year inflation is 3.8%. That is not the same as prices have gone down. And I think if you watch the videos that you played, you have people telling you that while some of their inputs have gone down, others have gone up. And so the net effect that for some of them, they are keeping their prices constant. For some of them, because they are of the view that the net effect is even higher, they have increased by, I think, about one cedi or so. Yeah. So I think let's start off by being clear on the facts, because sometimes the narratives can be deceptive.
That's all for business. My name is Winston Taki. Up next is Sports.
We bring you sports now on JoyNews today with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullahi. Former Kumasi Asante Kotoko head coach Prosper Nathe Ogum has revealed that the decision to walk away from the Porcupine Warriors coaching job was because there was no mutual respect between him and management. Speaking to Joy Sports Nathaniel Arthur, he said that he would have stayed on as the head coach of the team if management accorded him the respect he deserved.
I think a lot. One, I think discipline was a key factor. The caliber of players I've met too. I met the likes of Budasiru, Ganiu, Christopher Neti, Mbella, Fegi, Stephen Amankona, Richmond Lamptey, Patrick Asma. These were very good players. So all that I needed to do was to have my training content and my training structure in place.
That should also mean that your predecessor did a good job in recruiting these players.
Actually, I was also, yes, but then I also recruited some of these players. I mean, Richmond Lamptey came in when I was coming in Bella, in Fegi, all of them came in when I was coming in. Who else again? a lot of these young guys. So he did a good job, and then we when I say we, I mean my technical staff, we also try to also bring in other players, which also actually helped in making sure that the team became a unit. Now, if you look at the discipline aspect, that actually helped. And I want to use this opportunity to commend the captain of that time, Ganu. He was so disciplined to the extent that whatever message you carried across, he was the first person to exemplify it, to show it for everybody to see. We had some challenges though, but then I made them understand that this is Asante Kotoko. If you play a league and you play second, you've not done anything. Because the number of times they have been second, uncountable. Yeah. Or that you can be remembered for as being a former player or a former coach of Asante Kotoko is winning a league. And we have the opportunity to do that. So let's all come together and work as a unit and make sure that on the field and off the field, we adhere to simple rules and regulations. So I set up a lot of rules and regulations for them. Basically, it's about code of conduct, job ethics, basic things that they need.
That is your sports. So now we do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com.
I am Loishola Ademi, bringing you the entertainment news. Let's get into our stories. Now, in recent years, conversations around African unity, free movement, and economic integration have gained renewed momentum. Adding his voice to the conversation, Ghanaian rap icon Sarkodie has called on African leaders to support the Borderless Africa Initiative, an effort aimed at breaking down barriers across the continent. Through his message, the award-winning artist highlights the importance of collaboration, opportunity, and shared growth for Africa's future.
Distinguished head of states, business leaders, innovators, creators, and my fellow Africans. I stand before you today not only as an artist, but as an African who believes that this generation has a responsibility to finish the work that history left incomplete. Africa is not short of talent. We are not short of ideas. We are not short of ambition. What we have been short of is access. Access to markets, access to capital, access to opportunity, and sometimes access to each other. Borders were drawn without us. Yet, decades later, they decide who can trade, who can travel, who can grow, and who must wait. This is why this moment matters. Make Africa borderless to me is not a protest. It's not a complaint. It's a call to action rooted in economic sense, dignity, and Africa's self-belief.
Well, with Valentine's Day just 4 days away, love is officially in the air. Playlists are being curated, date plans and taking shape, and romantic moods are being set across the world. When it comes to music that understands love in all its forms, Kojo Antwi, famously known as Mr. Music Man, remains a go-to choice for lovers everywhere. His timeless love songs continue to soundtrack intimate moments, making them Valentine's Day decades on. Today, our month of love series spotlights 5 Kojo Antwi songs that helps lovers set the mood for the season.
Opening the list is Adia Penna. In this classic, Kojo Antwi presents love as gentle and deeply emotional, making it a go-to song for lovers looking to create a romantic atmosphere.
I'm coming in
Next is Amrika. Here, Kojowenchi celebrates affection and admiration, delivering a smooth sound that fits perfectly into Valentine playlist. With Dadia Noma, the mood turns tender and reflective as Kojowenchi sings about devotion and emotional attachment.
Or you can go and find more love songs like MFA Dirty Years, MFA.
Oh, it has cuts.
Yes, cuts, unfortunately. But there are so many songs out there. I heard you.
Of course.
Adia Pena.
Kojowenchi is just it. I mean, he has my heart. So I have a shoe, I have a dress, I have the music. It's never their date.
Oh, I'm your mouse.
Oh, yeah, that's it. We definitely can't wait for more of this on News Today. I'm MFA Kosedati. Thank you so much for watching the news today. Please log on to myjoyonline.com for more news.